Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I hope that everyone is doing okay. We have discussed in our previous lessons on communication. We have discussed on the different elements of communication, the models, the ethics when it comes to communication, the principles of communication, the different factors that will affect communication. So now for this video right here, we will be discussing on how communication it can occur at different level. So when it comes to communication, there are 5 different levels, from word and up to physical, auditory, emotional, and energetic. Okay, right. So this different level will determine how good your communication is, right? So at the highest level, there are a lot of examples that I can think of. Usually, for example, we have motivational speaker like Dato' Fadilah Kamsa. So Fadilah Kamsa, he achieved this level of communication, very high level, right? So another example will also be Dr. Azizan Osman. He is at this level, energetic level. Whether you like him or not, yeah, I have my own opinion about him, of course, but I cannot really argue that he does not achieve this level, because he manages to make people follow him, right? And also even your ustaz and ustazah, some ustaz and ustazah lah, not all, they are also able to achieve this level right here. You dengar dia cakap, itu rasa nak bertaubat. So that is the energetic level. Okay, right. So let's go through each level and see what makes them special. Okay, the first one is the verbal level of communication. So the verbal level of communication is basically the very simplest level, which is just the word. So to be a good speaker, to be a good communicator, at least you must reach the first level, the verbal level, choosing the right words. When you are communicating to people, you need to make sure that you are using the right word. Like for example, different words evoke different images, memories, and meanings for different people. So see who you are communicating with and decide on the best word to use. Let's say for example you are communicating to someone from the southern state, macam contoh orang Melaka, orang Johor, Negeri Sembilan, you will say singgit. Okay, for one ringgit you will say singgit. But when you go to Pantai Timur, to people who are from Terengganu and also from Kelantan, you will say seya, 2 ya, right? So those are the level those are the things that you have to consider lah at the first level, which is the words that you choose. It means different to different people. But for another example, to people from Terengganu and Kelantan, when it comes to buah mangga, you will say buah pau. You don't say buah mempelam, because that will buah mempelam will sound differently in dekat Pantai Timur punya accent, dialect. So don't say buah pelam, say buah pau. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first level. The word that you choose will determine how your listener, you see this picture of a guy here, this will determine how they receive you. Okay, right, so that's the first level. Okay, so again, select the right words and usage for the context of conversation. Okay, and be clear and concise. Yeah, make sure that you are clear. Make sure that you plan first to avoid rambling. Rambling ni maknanya you blur kejap and then you just blah blah blah, orang tak faham. Okay, and then the second level of communication is the physical level. So basically we are talking about visual cues. Visual is basically what we see lah. Okay, for example, eye contact. If you are a good speaker, you know how to use eye contact correctly. Okay, and then you know how to use gestures. Gestures is basically maybe your hand movement, the way you stand. Okay, like right now I'm sitting down, but if you are standing, some people they will start putting their hands in their pocket. Okay, it's fine, but there are ways that I would really like to demonstrate maybe later, lah. Your breathing technique, your posture, your facial expression, this will all influence how you feel and communicate. When you use with integrity, sometimes you can also match and mirror. Let's say you want to be friends with someone. What you can do is you mirror them. If they start doing this, you also start doing this. If they start scratching their head, you also scratch their head. This is a technique that was taught in psychology, if I'm not mistaken. Mirroring. Right. So this is at the physical level. So to communicate effectively on the physical level, it is helpful to physically align with others. Right? Try and connect with your audience physically. Okay, and also don't forget to be mindful of your posture. Think about your posture, but do not think too much. If you think too much about the way you stand, the way you move, you will be distracted. Okay? Right, so this is the physical level. And then the next level is auditory. Okay, so auditory ni basically audio. So what you listen to. So the sound of your voice, including your tone, the range and the volume and speed, will affect how your message is received. If let's say your voice is very scratchy, dia nyaring sangat, it may be difficult for your listener to listen to you for a long time. Or maybe your tone is very flat, dia mendatar, dia macam cakap dengan robot. Assalamualaikum semua, saya nak membentang tentang hari ini, saya nak bentangkan tentang, see, very flat. It's not very nice. Yeah? And then volume. Some people think the higher the volume, lagi kuat you cakap, it's better. But it's not really the case. That's not really the case. Okay. And then speed. Some people, when they get nervous, they speak very fast. That's not the way to do it. You must make sure that you are at the level that is comfortable for you and for your audience. Okay. Alright. Right. So this is the third level, auditory level. Let's go to emotional level. Right. So when it comes to emotional level, basically you are able to influence your audience to feel the same way that you do. Let's say, for example, you are talking about something that makes you sad. Okay, your audience will also feel sad. Okay. And then if let's say you are talking about something that is positive, people will also feel positive. Okay, and then to communicate effectively on the emotional level, become aware of your own emotional state. Let's say, for example, when you are presenting, you heard something, you got a bad news, maybe you dengar cerita yang your cat mati ke apa ke sebelum you present kan, before you do your presentation, you dengar cerita your mother call, tompok dah mati, so you feel sad. So tak pasal-pasal nanti when you give your presentation, it will actually show on your face. Okay, there is this one example that I can think of. When I was a student, we did a program with rumah anak-anak yatim HIV dan AIDS. So we invited the founder lah. So founder rumah tu datang to our program, and then when she gave her speech, tak sampai seminit, she started crying, and then she was very emotional. So everybody in the audience also feel the same way. Right? So that is something that is different. That is something that is on a different level. It's at the emotional level of communication. Alright. So try and achieve the fourth level of communication. Now, remember that when it comes to emotional level, when you talk, if you talk with pride, with a lot of ego, with a lot of anger, or maybe some with fear, usually it is not well received. If you talk to someone with pride, you know, they will think poyo ni mamat ni, yeah? Or maybe you talk with anger, you know, nanti when you start kerja nanti maybe ada your boss from different department marah you ke, you will probably not receive, you will probably not accept the way they communicate to you, yeah? Okay, so remember that as well when you communicate with other people. Alright, and then finally we have the energetic level of communication, also known as the X factor. Right, so this is the highest level of communication. Only a few people can achieve this kind of communication. At this level of communication, it's not only emotional, you will also feel like you want to follow that person. Like I said just now, Fadilah Kamsa, he gave a motivational speech, and then dia kata, okay, you kena buat ni dalam hidup you kena buat ni. So you pun terasa, oh, I must follow what he says. Alright. And then maybe for example your ustaz and ustazah kan, ustaz dan ustazah dia bagi ceramah, dia bagi tazkirah, and then you feel, oh, aku kena bertaubat, aku kena follow apa yang ustazah cakap. So that is the energetic level of communication. Not many people achieve this level of communication. It is something that is truly special and unique, yeah. It's not something that is that's unachievable tau. It's not something that you are born with. This you can actually achieve this level if you practice enough, if you try. Okay, when it comes to communication, hold the highest intention for the other person's well-being. So you need to have empathy when you communicate. You must have compassion for other people. It will help you to communicate with greater ease. So again, the different levels of communication, there are 5. Try and achieve all levels. Try and go all the way up to the energetic level of communication whenever you speak, because that's the highest level. Okay. Right. So I hope that is clear for everyone. If there is any question, feel free to post your question in our Google Classroom. Right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.